is born now.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Tuesday night, ready to do some podcasting, programming note, show note. Guys, I'm working on some stuff with the website. Or actually, I'm paying some people to work on some stuff with the website. So if you're having any issues seeing like certain premium content, all this stuff, I know I'm working on it. I got the best people on it. And that means people that's know how to program other than me. So they will get back to me and let me know for sure when everything's going to be up. But if you have any questions, of course, the blackouttips@gmail.com. And if anything, gets too crazy, we'll figure a workaround or something. But yeah, just letting you know, because I already had somebody email me like, hey, I couldn't find a thing. And I was like, that is news to me as well.
So we are all learning together.
So but yeah, it should be back up hopefully soon. But in addition to that, in the show notes, you can always find a link to this. We're going to Vegas next April.
Yeah, it's our first time there. I'm excited.
And we're going to be part of what's called Pod Jam 3 with Pete Dominic. And it's going to be a rip-roaring good time. It better be. Okay? Vegas, baby. What happens in Vegas, it stays there, but then the people leave. So I guess what happens every place, technically, it stays there. But anyway, we will be there. And you can get tickets in the show notes if you look at the link. And I'm not telling you what to pay, but they have a pay whatever you want to pay tier. I don't know how they're going to make money, but that ain't my job. My job is to get you guys to go. So we're going to be out there live podcasting, and I say pay what you want to pay. It's up to you guys. And we also were on Pete Dominic's podcast, Stand Up with Pete. So when the next episode comes out, we should be on there. We had a good time, man.
We had a great time.
It was so
great.
Of course, Myq Kaplan knows him because he knows everybody.
Everybody.
In fact, here Pete is a super funny comedian and super smart and thoughtful social commentator, political commentator, as y'all are. And not only that, here's something that you and Pete have in common is 1 month ago, thereabouts, I did, I think, your podcast on a Tuesday and his podcast also on that same Tuesday, just a few hours earlier. And both of you said, hey, you should come back on like more frequently than just every however many years between you got projects to come back on and have a conversation. And both of you were like, yeah, like talk to me like in a month. And so I sent a message to you. I sent a message to Pete. I was like, it's been a month. Let's do it. And here I am. And I am waiting for a text from Pete. But I'm optimistic. I understand he was busy with you guys. And I got this big pod jam in Vegas going on. What happens in Vegas gets podcasted everywhere. Truly. I mean, but what stays? Nothing stays. There is impermanence. What happens here is gone a moment later, like sand running through our fingers. But
that is
I hope
true.
You have a great time.
We're only living with the impacts of what happened already. And that is Myq Kaplan. If you guys
hello.
My man Myq, he just gave you the backstory. He hit me up, was like,
it's the quickest turnaround for you ever.
Yeah, he said, I said, don't be a stranger. And he said, hello, friend. And he's back already. Myq, what shakes, man? What's been going on in the last month? Have you missed anything? I feel like these segments are going to get shorter the more you come on the show.
Oh, we'll see about that. I challenge accepted. I'm gonna answer that question until I'm back on next month.
I believe you could do it. I don't.
Yes.
Just gonna roll over. So yeah, last I was here, it was I think a day before my special Rini was coming out, and we did or thereabouts. And so the special came out. And a lot of people have been watching and saying nice things, and I'm continuing to encourage people to do that. Watch again. I don't know how the numbers work. Just put it on for 31 seconds, turn it off, put it on again for 31 seconds, keep at it, inflate those numbers. That's the way you do things. No, tell friends. I've been now. This is nice. I was on like a real pod junket, for the month leading up to it, 2 months maybe. And now it's nice. There's breathing room and time. Rini and I are getting ready tomorrow to start driving to her family in Missouri. I will do some shows in Pennsylvania, Ohio along the way, Kansas and Missouri when we get there. But yeah, we signed up for new acting classes that start in January.
Do you both act already, or is this like a new venture for both of you guys?
Ooh, this is what a rich mine we have here to dig into. It is new to me. Like, I have acted in that friends of mine have like invited me to be like, do you want to be in this sketch? Do you want to be in this movie? I'm like, absolutely. I got an agent for the first time in 2009, and they started sending me out on, auditions, and I'd never taken acting classes. I didn't have a specific desire to act. It wasn't my art of choice. Like, I was like, I like making music and comedy where I'm me, the guy who makes it, and I know exactly how it goes because I'm the director and producer, writer, actor. I'm all of it. But in acting, when somebody's like, be this, say this, I was like, you can't tell me what to do. And they're like, well, then you can't be in our thing. Because the director does kind of tell you what to do and the writer does tell you what to say. But Rini, for many years, we're both in our 40s. For certainly most of her adult life, she has been very interested in acting as, an art form. She has memorized lots of monologues. We've gone to plays together. She has lots of books about acting, the art of it and such. And she's been extremely interested in it, but never officially studied it. But there's a place in New York City called the Barrow Group, where like lots of great actors have come through there. We saw them do a show in Scotland when we were there for the Edinburgh Fringe Fest in 2023. And their show, it was like watching real people. Like, Rini was super impressed. It was just like moving and like heavy, and really human. And then one of the actors in it invited us to another show in New York, and we went and saw that. Same deal. And then an actor friend of mine told me, oh yeah, they're like the best. Where other acting classes will kind of teach you, my friend said, they'll teach you to act like them. Like, this is our way. Do it like us. Whereas the Barrow Group, my friend said, will teach you to act like you. Like you will, which is like a really beautiful, like, there's this book I think I probably talked to you about called Several Short Sentences About Writing by Verlin Klinkenborg. And he, at the beginning of it, says, I'm not here to teach you to write like me. I'm here to teach you to write like you. I think that any teaching, any classes, any way that you study any kind of art, it really has to come from you. So the best teachers are really facilitators to help you get out of the way, to help you discover, chip away at what's not you, to be like, oh, here's me coming out of the marble that, oh, it was me the whole time, me inside of me,
it's like
the real treasure.
It's like whenever people talk about, like a lot of times people talk about education and what kids need and what schools need to do. A lot of times people talk about what they should learn. Like, they should they should memorize the Constitution, or they should learn the 10 Commandments or whatever. And very little of it is like how to learn. Like, yes, they should learn how to learn. They should learn how to reason,
how to think.
Yeah, like not what to think,
how to resolve.
How does this thing reach a logical conclusion? Like that kind of thing. And that feels like that's the approach to the acting classes. Like, we're not going to tell you like, okay, do an impression of another actor, or we're going to find a way that because this is the big thing about acting. I think so many people are just cast as a heightened version of themselves. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of acting seems to be done in the casting, right? Like you'll watch something and you're like, and this isn't even shade to anyone. Some of our greatest actors are just kind of themselves all the time. Denzel is just Denzel. Like, there's drug dealing Denzel, there's cop Denzel, there's time traveling Denzel. But it's like I'm watching Denzel be in a different circumstance, but similar manner. Like every Denzel is always like, ha, my man. Every Denzel. I watched the newest Gladiator sequel. And he was in Gladiator like, ha, my man, reading the newspaper. I said, you cast the Denzel. that's what comes with
Yes.
Denzel. So maybe that is the secret. Maybe you'll get cast more being the Myq Kaplan that people already think of, but in this role as, oh, it's Myq Kaplan in a coffee shop meeting a girl, you know?
I'm optimistic. I think that you're 100% right. And I think there are different kinds of acting where, like, did you see The Fighter with Christian Bale, where he played like a real life person. And then at the very end of the movie, there was like a brief scene from real life that they showed the real life person that he and the other actor were portraying. And I'm like, oh, he became that guy. Like, there's a different kind of acting where like you can disappear into a role, like character actors like Gary Oldman I see in different things, or Vincent D'Onofrio. Like, they are like Vincent D'Onofrio and the Kingpin are not identical. Like, he does different things in different movies. But what you're saying, you know, and not to throw, again, no shade to anyone, like Jack Nicholson in certain things, like Robert De Niro in certain things, like they've done, they're actors. They know how to act. But for me, this was like kind of eye-opening and mind-blowing that like I was like, I don't know how to act. And because I had an idea of what acting was, and it's like acting, you know, where you have to like do something. But the school, we took level 1 and level 2, which was like 10 classes each earlier this year, Rini and I together. And it was incredible. And like, I now know, I'm not saying like I'm the best at acting now, but I was at 0 or negative. I was like working against myself. And now I'm like, oh, like Anthony Hopkins, to act, he learns his lines by reading them 250 times. And he's like, I know them so well that then the magic can arise. Like, if you know the lines, like that's the way the Barrow School acting style is taught, is like just acting as doing, acting like literally actions. Like, what would this character be doing? They're drunk, so they're kind of, you know, what like trying to not, what do you do when you're drunk? You try to not let people know that you're look, I'm not drunk. Why would you say that, you know? And so it was cool to discover. Here's one final piece of it that was really cool, because one of the earlier things in my non-acting, non-career that I didn't like was like going to auditions when you're like, I don't want to memorize this thing, to ride a train for an hour, sit in a room for a half hour, do a thing for a minute, leave, take a train for an hour home. Like, what I could just sit home and write and do my own thing. But my one teacher was like, just see an audition as another opportunity for acting, for the process of acting, which includes like memorizing the lines, which I never did in the past. And now I love memorizing lines, even because the way they taught us, our first teacher taught us to memorize lines, was kind of counterintuitive to the way I conceived of it previously, which is, they said, don't just, if the line is like to be or not to be, that is the question, to be, don't just be like to be or not to be, that is a question, to be or not to be, that is a question, to be or not to be. Like, don't just carve a groove and do it one way, because that will then get you into this pattern that you're locked into, and you won't be able to, it'll take hard work to pull yourself out of it and do it another way. So the way our teacher recommended was like, when you're memorizing it, try to read the lines over and over in different ways all the time. So I do them like in different sing-song voices. I do it in like impressions of other comedians. I'd be like, to be or not to be, that is the question, you know. And I would be in the shower just 20 minutes at a time, just like jazz improvising my lines. And it's so fun. So yeah, it is a new exciting thing. So we're excited to start it again.
Myq, has this improved your comedy? Because you know, when you're on stage comedy is a performance. Like, it's not acting.
You didn't always really just break up with your girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like that could have happened months ago, but to be in the moment on the stage and be able to tap into something that's like that makes the audience feel like, oh, this guy really just broke up with his girlfriend on the way over here, and he just hopped on the stage.
Yes, I think that intellectually and like philosophically, this has helped in a way where like there's different stages of the comedy. Like, when the comedy is like ready to be recorded, or, you know, has been like curated over the course of weeks, months, years, and this is how it goes, then yeah, there is an element to like, oh, this is the costume that I'm putting on. I'm playing the part of me from a year ago when I thought of this thing. But I also always like to leave there leave some room for improvisation, for discovery in the moment. And that's the thing that now can also be done in acting that I didn't think could be done in acting proper, which is like, here's a fun thing from one of our classes. There's a tool. They would give us these tools from this book by Seth Barish, who helped found the school, co-founded it. One of the tools is pattern breaking. And so it was like, I was doing a scene and I was like a guy who was high, and there was a young lady who was drunk in the scene, and we're just connecting or trying to connect. And there's a line that I was saying it. So the pattern breaking is like, take it how you've been saying it and don't pause anywhere you've been pausing, and do pause anywhere you weren't pausing. So just make the pauses be different and see what happens. And so there was a line where she said, "Everyone hated me." And I was saying, "Oh, you're not that hateable." And I just did it every time. It's just 4 words. You're not that hateable. Like, how else could it be? And then she just break the pattern. And I was like, "Oh, you're not that hateable." And then it becomes a different thing. And like,
yeah,
it doesn't say, like, unless the director or the script says specifically you emphasize this word or you pause here, like, it's all other than what's written. It's open to interpretation. You can perform it in any way. And so that is something. Sometimes I go like pendulum swing a little too far in that direction with my comedy, where I'll like say something a way that works, and then I'll be like, what if I play with it a little bit? And eventually it gets to a place where people are like, what are you even saying? I'm like, I'm acting, and they're like, well, but what are you saying? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I also do have to communicate the idea in the way that makes sense.
Really, like, on the writing side of it, having like written certain stuff for people to perform. Sometimes that's where the gold is them performing it, not how you saw it, because everyone brings something to this collaborative art form. So like the actors are bringing their bodies and as an instrument, and it can be a pause. I remember it works both ways. On Game Theory, one time I wrote a joke where we were supposed to be coming out of a video of this NBA star who was getting in a lot of silly trouble, and the video had him playing with the tiniest gun I've ever seen in my life in a strip club and recording it himself. And it's just like, whoa, like, does this guy want to get in trouble? Like, there is no upside. There was no reason for him to do this, and he's gonna get in trouble for it. But he's like holding the gun up and dancing to the music, and then the way the TV show works, it comes right out of the video back to the host, Bomani Jones. And in the writer's room, I was like, hey, when we come out of there, you should just go pew 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 like it's a really little gun, and it'll crack the audience up. And then when he did it in the read, like, it cracked everyone up. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna kill when we get out there." But then when we did it in live, for some reason he just did it a different way, or he kind of froze up, and it's like, cut the joke. It's not worth like, even my vision that worked back there is not working here, and it's not worth pushing it to get it to work here, because we're both bringing something else. And then I'm sure there's plenty of times he wanted to say something and I wrote it differently or whatever. So all that to say, like, when you're the comedian, you are the writer and you are the performer, and you can surprise yourself with that pause and be like, this joke is funny this way, that when I was writing this in my head, it didn't work. But you have to give yourself the permission to experiment on stage. And I feel like an acting class would kind of give you that a little bit more, like, no, play with it. Like, this is a good skill to have.
Oh yeah. I give myself permission to experiment on stage and right here. Look, I'm experimenting. Is this good? It's my nose. But so I didn't plan that.
What are you gonna do if you get a role where they're like, this guy has eyebrows that are really tightly cut, like he has the neatest eyebrows in the world?
What's really funny is do you guys know? I don't know if you know Matt McCarthy. I feel like he works with Pete Holmes a lot. He's like a redheaded, super funny comic, and he has a beard. And he was he got a part. I'm gonna spoil the ending of the story. He got this part of Verizon Fios guy, like, for maybe 10-15 years ago. He was in a lot of commercials for Verizon, and it was like a big deal. Buy a house, I don't even know. And my understanding is that before he got the part, it was down to him and one other person. And they were like, in the final interview, the final audition, they go to him. So we're going to make our final decision. We just want to know, if we asked you to, would you shave your beard for this role? And he said, nah. And they're like, all right, you're hired. I don't know. Like, that's the secret answer. Like, I don't know why, but, so I said, I'm no Matt McCarthy. I would trim the eyebrows. They'll grow back. Rini will be okay. Right. I think, depending, obviously, if I really want to do the role, I am happy to, but that's the only thing that would make me do it, is if I want.
Right. Well, now let me ask you this. It's been a month since the special came out. The special was named Rini.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's about, spoiler alert, Rini.
Yes.
Your current girlfriend.
You can still watch. That's not everything. It's just an hour of me saying Rini, 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 Rini,
Rini. Yeah, he just says it over and over.
Rini, 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 Rini,
Rini. Are y'all still together? Because that would be awkward if a month later it's like, actually, this we were wrong about the comedy special. It didn't work out.
Rini, come over and say hi to prove that we're still to. Hello, Rini.
Oh no,
she's out for the evening. But you believe me, right? Pretty good acting classes.
This is acting right there. The pause sold it.
The pause break.
Yes, we're getting ready tomorrow. We're getting on. I mean, look, no one ever knows. In Buddhism, they say like next breath not guaranteed, next lifetime guaranteed, so who knows? But up until now, as far as I know, what happens in Rini and Mike's life doesn't stay there. We tell everybody about it. It's there. It's happening.
I love to see it. And like a long time ago, you used to come on the show. You would talk about polyamory and dating life and all that stuff. And I feel like all of that was just a precursor to now. And so it's like you were playing the field. You're playing a game. You're playing Eeny, Reeny, Miny, Mo, maybe until you picked your one, and then you were good to go after that. I feel like that's what happened, and I'm happy for you, and I'm glad. But I will say, you sound as happy and convicted today as you did then.
Yes, he does,
and I love that for you. Like I feel like I talked to Keith Malley, and it's like he's like, how can this guy be so sure both ways? It's like. I had a friend in high school who I still to this day think told me the most profound thing about love of all time. And when she told me, I told her it was stupid. And I regret that I said that because I didn't know what I was talking about. But I asked her, she was with this guy that I thought was a loser. And I was like, do you love him? Because before I say anything to like, what is it about this guy? And she goes, I love him for what I know love to be. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. And now, like, that is the truest thing I heard in my life. Yeah, everybody just, in that moment, you love the person in what you know of love. And I think
at that time, yes. Yeah. Because love grows and evolves and changes as you do.
Yeah, I just thought that was, but yeah, I thought it was stupid at the time. But now I realize.
You was much younger.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, before I met Rini, before you've had any experience, before you've eaten a kiwi, before you've done a psychedelic, before you've heard a certain song, like you have no idea what you're missing. You have no idea, like nothing is absent from your life experience. You can live to the fullest. But I do think that the commonality between me before me when I was in open relationships, me when I was talking about openness a lot, when I was polyamory, I would yammer on a lot about it. And I think I was confident that a joke that I tell sometimes is I'm very confident right up until somebody says, are you sure? Then I'm like, no, who said anything? Who told you? But I am, for better or for worse, and like I'm aware of this, but like I do have I fall in love quickly, when I've been single, like I've like this person, like that was like an ongoing like joke with my friends, but like I think I met the person, and it would just be because I really love. I mean, I'm just very fortunate. I'm very grateful. I think I've told you, I bet I've told you about this safe that I have from childhood. That's like, it's
never told us this.
Oh, cool. I have this little safe. It's like, a child safe. So it has a dial that has numbers, but you know how most safes, you're like, you turn it left, right, or right, left, right. This one has one number. That's all. You turn it to the correct number once and you hit the button, you pull down the lever and it pops open. A child's safe, right? So you don't even need to know the number. If you know it's a safe with one combination, you just hold down the button and then spin the dial. Spin the dial, and then it will pop open when you get to the right place. And so I think about that metaphorically with respect to, I think they're myself, and I think y'all's selves, and I think there's a lot of people that I meet in life, fellow artists, fellow kind-hearted, open, compassionate, loving people, who are basically metaphorically holding down the open button on your heart. And so when you meet, and the combination is another person who's doing that. So when you two, you know, when I meet you, when you meet someone, like I'm sure you have these experiences where you meet somebody and you're just like, oh, it feels like we could talk forever. It feels like I could know you. Like, I feel like I already do know you. It's because it's sort of like at the beginning of Anna Karenina, they say like happy families are all happy in the same way, but unhappy families are all unhappy in different ways. And so it's like the closer to pure happiness, love, like the idea that I think Victor Hugo might have said that everyone has like the light of God inside of them or some kind of, you know, God's spirit there. And when you fall in love with somebody, it basically renders the part of them, the external part, invisible. So it's just like game recognize game, light recognize light, God recognize God. And so I feel that way, you know, with respect to anyone and anything that I love. Like the first time I did mushrooms, the first time I did ayahuasca, the first time I met, you know, an ex-girlfriend, the first time I met my friend Liz Glazer, who I met 10 years ago on a show. And I'm like, we're going to be friends for life. And now it's 10 years later and she's one of my dearest friends. And so I do think that it's just, you know, a lot of the energy that went into like poly romantic relationships in the past. Now it's like poly platonic relationships. Just that I'm like, I have a lot of people in my life. Yeah.
I think I feel like all love flows from the same source. And it just like it might like be defined differently, but like it doesn't make that love no like any less stronger or even though each relationship is different.
Right.
And I've always felt like that. Like even like your friends are relationships.
Yeah, they are.
Like I think
people don't understand that sometimes.
Maybe it's America or something, but everything's so like romanticized or sexualized. But I'm like, no, it's all relationships. I back in the day, I remember when there used to be like the thing to say, everybody thought they were being so edgy to be like, hey man, I just be having like fuck buddies or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever tell your side chick to do this? And I was like, that's a relationship,
regardless of what you want to call it.
Like, no, we're not in a relationship. I was like, it's not really like a thing. I'm not telling you have to marry the person. I'm just saying you're in a relationship with your boss. You're in a relationship with the taxi driver. Like all this shit with us bumping into each other, like emotional bumper cars, it just is creating constant connections or whatever. It's not, you know, it's more of a scientific term than like me trying to like, you know,
we're relating. Yes, I relate to you. That is a relation, and that is the ship of relation is what we're all sailing on here. And yeah, I do think that I used to be like, I think that, you know, in our society, like we think of friendships as lesser, but that's weird. Like, because people are like, are we just friends? Oh yeah, just the greatest connection, kind of, you know, we're merely people who love each other and are there for each other and have each other's back and can call each other if we have a lousy time. Just friends. Like, oh no, I got put in the friend zone. What if you had, there's a lot of people who have no friends. You ever think about, I got upgraded from no friends to the friend zone. Oh my God, I love this zone. All my friends are here.
Right. Yes, Myq, I agree, because when it comes to friendships, let's say a friendship goes sour, people don't know how to handle that sometimes, and you have to go through a mourning of the friendship, you know, because it was like you say, it was a relationship. Y'all had like a connection. You had a bond. So you have to go through the process of that bond no longer being there. And people only think about that as like a sexual relationship, you know what I mean? Like a spouse or something like that. But sometimes your friends are just as important as your spouse or your significant other or others, because you need somebody to talk to and communicate outside of your significant other. And sometimes people don't understand that. You need somebody else that you can talk to.
I think also the internet introduced us all to the fact that like friendship relationships are also real relationships, because it also introduces all the ghosting as a concept.
Yes.
And ghosting, like, it hurts. Where you're like, I
Yes,
thought
it
that was
does.
my friend. I have not heard from them in a while. And that, but in order for it to hurt, you have to admit there was something there
You
that
have
was
to admit there
feeling
was a bond.
feeling real,
Mhm.
you know. So I think that's such an interesting perspective on it. Myq, also, I believe I was listening to you on Mary Houlihan's show.
Oh, sure.
And either there was Keith Malley, Keith and the Girl show. But I think you talked about how you had a religious experience after doing like psychedelics. Like you felt like you were more of an atheist before, but after the psychedelics, you're like, there's something out there. What was the psychedelic? Like, what's the God drug? What's the one?
Yeah, so I would say for me, there's two that I've had experiences like that with. The first one was mushrooms, psilocybin, and then the second one was ayahuasca. And so it was like about 10 years apart, starting like when I was 25, I did mushrooms for the first time. And I just had an understanding, like, in one way, nothing changed, you know, but I was able to, it's sort of like when things are, you know, when you look at like the cube where you can't tell, is that the way it's facing or is that the way it's facing? Like if you just make, you know, if you draw a cube with squares and connect the lines, it's like an optical illusion where you're like, is it facing this way or that way? Or, you know, is it a duck or a rabbit? Or whatever your illusion of choice. Like I think that before I did mushrooms, I was looking at it one way. I'm like, it's a duck. And then like when I did mushrooms, it was like, or maybe it also could be a rabbit. And you're like, oh, it is a rabbit. It's a rabbit. And I wasn't wrong that it was a duck. It's the same. I'm looking at the same thing. I'm looking at the same world, but like my eyes have changed. My brain has changed. My insides have changed. My consciousness. And so I felt like the language, like when I first did mushrooms, I feel like the language shifted where I was like, oh yeah, like we're all connected, which is true. I mean, scientifically as well, we all came from like the same source. Our molecules are constantly shifting. We're all made of the same stardust from, you know, you can do it with science, but it's simpler to be like, we're all one, nailed it. And it's like kind of Buddhist paradigm, like we're there. And before I did psychedelics, before I did mushrooms for the first time, I ever tell you about, there's a book by a man named Raymond Smullyan. He wrote a lot of books. One of them was, the first one I ever found was called This Book Needs No Title. And
oh yeah.
I think I mentioned that to you.
Yes, we talked about did your special.
So that was the one that before I'd done mushrooms, there was a story in it that talked about like mysticism and enlightenment basically, and I was like, I know those words, but I don't know what they attach to. And then after I did mushrooms, I was like, oh, they attach to anything, to everything, to this experience of, you know, of presence, of mindfulness, of being here and being aware and being like, oh, like I'm talking to you, I'm communing with you, like this is a relationship, this is a connection, this is a communion of sorts. And it just like, I guess gave me like a different perspective, and I like started using different language where like I don't claim to know, you know, anything outside of my own experience. I don't know what dying specifically feels like, though I hear it's like what an ayahuasca trip is like, but I've done an ayahuasca trip. I
heard it's like bombing on stage. I heard it's like when that's what I've heard. It's like that's
dying. Yeah.
The audience comes and just boos you.
The afterlife is walking out in shame. I think it's interesting though, because I would say I'm probably closer to like maybe agnostic or something, but I feel like it's as insane to think you know exactly what's going to happen and exactly why everything is happening as it is to just be like, all of this is just coincidence. Both sound crazy to me. Like sometimes I really like, as corny as it is, I really will be looking at a fucking tree and be like, how the fuck? Like, so the tree does the pollen, but only the bees can do the flowers, and we wouldn't even eat if the bees weren't here. Like, what?
And we couldn't breathe without the oxygen from the trees.
Yes, like I'm like, somewhere much smarter than me made this up or something, because it's just too. I play video games where I've had to like do The Sims or something, and I was like, to these characters in this game. I'm basically their god. And if I lived in this world, I'd be like, somebody's doing these things. This stuff makes too much sense.
Here's two things that Alan Watts said that you reminded me of. One is the idea that a carpenter can make a chair out of a tree, you know, but nobody makes wood. Like nobody makes the tree. Like the tree just is, you know, and then you can make things out of it. That's like reality is. Like we're not creating anything. We're just curating it and moving it around and all that stuff. Right. And the other thing on the subject of like both being crazy, like the idea to know 100% that it is or it isn't, that's the thing. It's the knowing 100% that is the weird part. And Alan Watts said there's a Buddhist teacher who once was asked, do you believe in God? And he said, if you do, I don't. And if you don't, I do. And that I feel like is a beautiful answer.
That teacher was just a jerk. He was like, I'm a actually don't even work at this school.
He was just passing by. Like, I mean, everyone can be a teacher, you know.
Right. Like, are you a teacher? If you're a student, I am not.
But I think that for real, like I love when people have strong opinions, because then it'll really allows me to, you know, if somebody's like super loud, then I'd be like, wow, that's really loud. I'm going to be aware of that and be a little quieter. But if somebody's super quiet, I'd be like, oh, I'm not that, you know, like we all know ourselves in relation to what's going on around us, to what other people are like. And so I do feel like, you know, I used to be like a super hardcore atheist. And now that kind of super hardcore atheist, I had one on my podcast earlier today, a super funny comedian, but who's just like science, only logic. Yes, there are things we don't know, but that doesn't mean that we can't know them. Doesn't mean that somebody doesn't know them. We might know them. We can know them. No need to bring anything outside. Like he's like, yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. Like I'll give you that.
That's a lot of faith you're putting in science. No,
he believes that things can be figured out, and things can be figured out, but everything eventually you just like surrender and be like, that's fine.
Yeah. I feel like I live in a state of, I don't know, could be like, like whatever. It's like I tell my friends in basketball, we're big basketball fans here, but in basketball, there's always this debate: who's the greatest, who's the GOAT, Is it LeBron James or is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron James? It's only those two, by the way. Is it LeBron James?
Right. No other basketball player mattered.
Neither one of them have the most rings or whatever, right? But I remember I was talking to a friend, Bomani. He's super Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan. He used to be LeBron James. Now he's just Michael Jordan. And he like comes into the office. He shows me a YouTube video of like all these Michael Jordan highlights. He's like, look at that. Because we would just look at YouTube all day when we weren't writing. And he was like, I said, you know something, Romani? Who I think is the greatest is honestly whoever the person talking to me thinks is the greatest in that moment. They can be the greatest. I have my own opinion, but like if you come in my office and you're like, it is LeBron James, we're going to watch 20 highlights of LeBron. I'm like, it's LeBron James. That's the greatest guy we've ever seen. And if you come back later and like, it's Michael Jordan, here's 20 highlights of Michael Jordan. It's like, it is Michael. That's no one's going to be greater than that. How can you be greater than that? Because it don't really matter. Because I know.
I have three thoughts for you. Two of them are jokes and one of them is real. And the jokes are real too. But joke.
Are we guessing?
Who knows which is which? Yeah, it's gonna be like two jokes and the truth, right?
Karen, you guess the jokes and the truth.
Okay, so this is I actually haven't heard back from either LeBron or Michael Jordan recently. They ghosted me. So that's true. I haven't heard back from them. So that's one of the true ones. This is a thought that I'm really excited to have had. Rod, you said that you're like, I don't know. I don't know, and
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people, the way that I was before was like, I needed to know, and it was regimented, and there's people like, this is what it is, and it sounds almost painfully constricting. Like they're like, ow, no, and they're like, no, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, it's very similar. All you got to do is like relax a little. Ow, no, I don't know. And then on the subject of, who is the greatest, it's like there is clearly no objective answer. I mean, maybe it's not clear to some people, or maybe it's clear that some people are like, it's an objective answer, but in comedy, I think it's so much clearer in art, where art is at its core not a competition, but there are still people that are like, who's on your Mount Rushmore? Who are your greatest? Who's your top 5? Who's your top 10? And like everyone can have a different one. You could have a different one every day, every hour, every minute. You could have your experience like with LeBron and Michael Jordan and be like, oh, I'm watching Maria Bamford right now. She is the best. I'm watching Reggie Watts right now. He is the best. I'm watching Aparna Nancherla. She is the best. I'm watching Sarah Silverman. She is the best. And like, I like the phrasing, like there's no one better. Like there's no one better than Maria Bamford at what she does. There's no one better than Gary Goldman at what he does. There's no one better than Mitch Hedberg at what he did. There's no one better than Emo Phillips at what he does. And truly, it seems to me, obviously in basketball, you can tell that it's a game. There's a score. You can win, but the artistry of it, which I think is what's being compared, like the grace with
the more you love it, the more you realize that those things are arbitrary too. Like wins and losses are arbitrary because someone can twist an ankle and now your team doesn't have the second best player, and so the thing we all thought we were witnessing, these two teams at their best, are no longer at their best, and people will leave that and go. Some people will leave it and go, well, even with the second best player being hurt, they lost and he's no longer the best player in the world to me. And some people will leave and go, he didn't have a second best player. How the fuck is he supposed to do it? It doesn't matter if you're the best in the world. So it's even that is arbitrary, but I think a lot of stuff could be approached a little less rigidly. I think a lot of my political allyship stuff is more about me going, I don't know, than it is me being like, I know for a fact, like when the first time I was introduced to the concept of trans, I don't know what it is to be trans. It sounds like it could be a thing, and what do we got to do to make sure that your life is easy? Like, why would I want to make your life harder? So what? People aren't supporting you. Is your body? Is your autonomy? What are we doing? I remember when I was growing up, it was people were like, people aren't actually gay. I was like, I don't know, but if they want to do it and they're adults, I don't. Why would they not be able to do that?
What's happening? What are we doing?
Right? Why would it matter to me if it was real to them or not? But and it's like, so people are gay. I don't know. I don't know what the DNA. I'm not a scientist. I just know that it's fucked up to ostracize somebody for being different.
Right.
Karen, I haven't forgotten. Did you pick Mike's two jokes and a truth?
I think the ghost was a joke.
Okay.
And the other two was truths.
Okay, well, it was 2 jokes and a truth, so you clearly missed.
Oh, I missed one.
But they also all were kind of truth in jest.
I think they're all basically non-binary, so any guess that you got was the right one. Who was the better one? Was it Karen for answering correctly, or was it Rod for pointing out that Karen didn't answer correctly? You're both, there's this old joke, I don't know where it came from, but a judge is in his courtroom and one lawyer makes a point and the judge says, you're right. And then the other lawyer says, but what about this? And the judge says, you're right. And then somebody in the audience goes, Judge, they can't both be right. And he goes, you're right. So everyone is right. I do appreciate that. I mean, my goal is to tell the truth in a fun way, or find the truth in fun things, or find the fun in true things. That's it. To do both of those things.
Well, I want to move into some segments because when we have you back more often, we can do a little less of the interview, and even though I love talking to you.
Oh, so that's what my past month has been like. Now we can continue. Yes.
Yeah, it's a little game I like to call "Where's Myq?"
Okay.
And that's why he's
All
dressed
right.
like Where's Waldo. If
He
you look
is.
at how he dressed, it's Where's.
He just missing a hat.
You just have to squint and like kind of focus between both of us. That's him. That's where Mike's
in the middle.
right there. So I was gonna leave it up to you, Karen, for segments. Okay. We can do banter. We can do, and because Mike can banter with the best of them, he can hop in and figure it out.
Oh, he can.
We can do, and we don't have to do it long. We can do one of each or whatever. We can do, of course, we got Guess the Race, we got Black Capitalism, we got White People News, which I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to pick, but
I mean, yeah,
I love White People News.
I do too. Yeah,
Black Capitalism, fucking with Black people.
We could do
broke.
Cause we can banter anytime.
Okay, so you want to do White People News? Well, let's pull up the White People News song because I mean we can't do it without the music. Here we go.
White people do exactly what you be problematic or little white people do.
Oh, let's see what the whites are into, guys. All right, there's lots happening. George Clooney,
actor. I know who that is.
Correct.
That's that dude that Hunter Biden got beef with.
That is also correct. That is also correct. George Clooney said he is officially ending his policy, or he's starting a policy. He is starting a policy. He will no longer be kissing girls in movies. So that era is officially over. He's done. He said he's not kissing girls and making romance films. He said, I've been trying to go the route Paul Newman did. Okay, well, I'm not kissing a girl anymore. He recently revealed in an interview with the Daily Mail, noting that it was a bit of a discussion in his household.
Girls got cooties?
He says, when I turned 60, I had a conversation with my wife. I said, look, I can still play basketball with the boys. I play with the 25-year-old guys. I can still hang. I'm in shape, but I'm 25 and I'm 85 years old. It doesn't matter how many granola bars you eat. That's a real number. So I guess he's saying, like, as he's aging, regardless of how beautiful and attractive we all think he is, he wants to move out of the romantic leading man role. He said, I'm 63 years old. I'm not trying to compete with 25-year-old leading men. That's not my job. I'm not doing romantic films anymore.
I mean, I understand what he's saying. It's interesting because you can have a romance movie between two people in their 60s or 70s or 80s. Like, I think it's good for a 63-year-old man to not kiss girls. Absolutely. Stay away from girls and call adult women women. But yeah, if you don't want to, go for it. I also, did you guys see his new movie, Jay Kelly?
Not yet. Not yet.
I really liked it. It's Rini and I watched it. I have a couple really good friends who are also like both men who like either are about to or just turned 50. And they're like, it's about a man like, later in his life and career. And so perhaps it might resonate more. I can't speak to it. Like I'm 47. I don't think that's why I liked it, but maybe who knows? But it's just, afterwards, I thought about it a lot. Like it is unlike a lot of movies, like story structure wise, it's not just purely, I don't want to spoil too much, but it made me like think about it. You know how like certain great works of art, like literature, like will teach you how to read it because every writer has a different style and you kind of have to take a few pages or chapters to be like, what even is happening here? So I feel like the movie was like that, and Clooney was great. Adam Sandler was really great. Everyone in it was great. But yeah, and I'm like, did he kiss any girls in the movie? Maybe I don't want to spoil anything, but I think he's I'm pro. This is as far as what is possible when y'all bring up white people news. I'm like, this is pretty good white people news. This is pretty okay. Yeah.
I love white people news is such a like beautiful segment because most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, it's a departure from the serious political, like racist stuff that we talk about on the show. So I love white people news because it's such a like breath of fresh air. And it's like, oh, this is what white people are concerned with. Not the most important things in the world, not the most, but I need that fluff, you know?
Yes.
And George Clooney saying I'm no longer kissing girls, is that really worthy of a news article? Like, is that breaking news? Was I walking in the park and I felt it in the air and I stopped and I was like, oh, George Clooney's not kissing girls anymore. No, but I do enjoy knowing something so trivial that means something to so many people. And good luck with him. I do feel like he sounds a little arrogant because it feels like what he's saying is something like, I could take these 25-year-old guys' jobs if I wanted. I mean,
yeah, I don't want to no more.
Listen,
y'all can have them the job.
I decided that I would go ahead and let the other handsome men have a few jobs.
You can't fire me. I quit. Yeah. It's like, I don't know if you guys watched Friends, but there's like an episode where Chandler and Joey have like a chicken and a duck as pets. And Joey is like, I've trained the duck. And then he goes like, just sit there and be white. I'm like, look, if you just tell it to do what it's doing, then absolutely. And so I think that's what George Clooney might be doing with his career. You may be 100% right. He's like, I'd like to have roles where I don't compete with these 25-year-old men. For me, that's my choice, my preference.
Right.
Absolutely.
I really hate to turn around and have to tell Ryan Gosling he can't be Ken. I mean, come on. Now I'm being cruel.
His turn. Let them have their turn. But also, to the point that it's not like, why is this news? It's like, it's really interesting in that it's not that interesting, but it's because of how famous he is that to get success as a comedian, like maybe we talked about this, like on the Comedy Central roasts, you know, like before Anthony Jeselnik or Nikki Glaser or Amy Schumer were as like big as they became, they were like newcomers to the world on those roasts. Like there were people would make jokes about them on the roast to be like, who are you and why are you even here? And the answer was, because we're funny. That's the only reason we're here. You're only here because you're famous. We're only here because we're funny. But so if you're not famous, then you need to be good. But if you are famous, then you don't need to do anything, and it's news, and people will pay you.
I love it.
Want to learn about you.
The best kind of news, because like, you know, you don't have to be upset by this.
Nope.
You know, George Clooney did this. Like, this isn't him telling like the America like you're gonna have to get a new president. That was scary. This is much better.
Yeah,
it's like,
I would rather you do this. This is your lane.
Speaking of which, you just brought up Amy Schumer.
I did.
She made white people news this week.
Okay.
Wow.
Her and her husband, Chris Fisher, are divorcing after 7 years of marriage.
Oh.
And a statement they released called it a cohesive split.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, I feel like the new conscious uncoupling.
That's what
dropped.
it was. Conscious uncoupling.
Like, let's update the firmware. We were doing conscious uncouplings, but now we got some new shit. Cohesive split. Don't look up the definition. Okay, don't look up the definition of both of those words because you will feel that they are antithetical. But I think
the opposite.
But the vibe, the concept, I think I understand. Is like we got together and decided to break up.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. And you know what? I really like this, like, you know, sort of euphemism escalator. Where it's like, yeah, it seems like it means the thing that it meant before. Like, you know, an amicable split was probably like the original one earlier. But here's an analogy that I hope I remember why I'm doing it at the end of it after I start. But, you know, I feel like this is the lore of comedy, like rise to success, where like when I was starting out, Dane Cook blew up on MySpace, and then everyone else tried to blow up on MySpace, but they couldn't because he already did it. And now it's like when 100 years ago, like people were discovering, oh, I got an old Action Comics #1, Superman's first appearance. Wow, you got that? Then everyone's like, now I will save all of the comics forever. And because of the supply and demand, that doesn't happen again. Now everyone just has a bunch of comics that aren't worth thousands and thousands of dollars or whatever it is. And so Dane Cook figuring out how to get big on MySpace was like doing a magic spell that when after you try to do it also, you're like, well, somebody already used that one. Or like, oh, I know what the winning, this is actually, I think, the perfect analogy to it. I just discovered the perfect analogy, and I'm going to record it for myself on this as well, that Dane Cook succeeding on MySpace and then everyone else trying to do it is like Dane won the lottery of millions of dollars. And then everyone else was like, I'm going to buy a ticket with the same number. And then, but he already won that one. So you and everyone else is now splitting whatever that, if he won $50 million, now 50 million people each won $1 trying to do what he did. And then, so we're like, but he did it on MySpace. Then, you know, Rob Delaney does it on Twitter, and Bo Burnham does it on YouTube, and Matt Rife does it with crowd work videos on TikTok. And like everyone's like, oh, do that one. When the real kind of goes back to your, what are we teaching kids in school? Are we teaching them facts to memorize or manners of learning, ways to do it? So instead of just being like, do what that person did, well, what they did was innovate. So you can't copy them innovating. If you want to innovate like them, you have to innovate like you. Don't do it like them. Do it like you. Do you know that the Childish Gambino lyric? Don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you
doing you. Yes, I love Childish Gambino.
Yes, like that. So that is, I feel like that the conscious uncoupling, the Amy Schumer, they're like, look, they did conscious uncoupling. They did amicable splits. We're unique individuals. Like, yes, we're human beings. We were in a relationship. Now we're in a different kind of relationship, a separate relationship. And now, but this is our own thing. So we're using our own language, our new magic spell that we are casting to demonstrate to people. They're like, oh, is that like, it's like it, but it's its own new thing. Like, here, enjoy. We just gave
because, like, how many ways are there to say it is essentially the same thing that other divorced couples went through? Either it was a divorce where you guys were like, I'm not gonna like publicly hate you and do all this like dramatic stuff,
right?
Or it's the one where you're like, I am, right? And if you are, you're probably not releasing a statement of anything, like not together. It's more, it's like a fuck that person statement, right? So you're going through what everyone's going through. So yeah, changing the words up and being like, it's a cohesive split. I was like, oh, I see you, Amy Schumer. Someone did the research. They did a little something different on them. Shout out to her. In her statement, she said, blah, blah, blah. Chris and I have made, I'm not making that up. That's what she wrote. Blah, blah, blah. Chris and I have made the difficult decision to end our marriage after 7 years. We love each other very much and will continue to focus on raising our son. We would appreciate people respecting our privacy at this time. Blah, blah, blah. Not because I dropped some LBs and thought I could bag a basket, a S basket, and not because he's hot, a hot James Beard winning chef who can still pull some hot tail, amicable and all that, love and respect for family forever. There's nothing ugly. It's a cohesive split. They've just been finalizing a few things, said the pair exclusively told. A source close to the pair told People. So
that statement's hilarious.
Yeah. I also like that you can be famous enough to be like, I need a source to reach out to people to let them know the details on my divorce. Like, hey, there are people gonna run wild with this. Can you reach out to People, the magazine, so they can reach people, and let the people know it's not what the people think.
Yes, I like, the idea of a it's conscious uncoupling that, is being like conscious as you uncouple. When I feel like a lot of couples are just like unconsciously coupling. You know what I mean? They're just like, we're coupling. What are you talking about? I don't know. Just, but don't know what's going on. So I really
look up and like, oh, you still here?
Yeah. So yeah, I like the consciousness. I like the cohesiveness. I wish them well. I'm sorry for the difficulty, but man, this is great. This is great news for white people.
White people news. They're gonna still be rich. They're gonna raise their kids. They're gonna be fun. They're gonna get no new tail. Everything's cool. Speaking of good white people news, one of my patron saints of white people news, Taylor Swift.
What happened? What did Tay up to?
Taylor Swift's crew that worked on her tour, they broke down in tears.
Well, what happened?
As they found out she was giving them $197 million in bonuses for their work on the Eras tour.
They made
What?
Her and Beyonce had stadiums rocking from fucking coast to coast, and them people was dedicated to that.
Yeah, she said they did such a good job. She's given, obviously the split between everybody, but more than $197 million in bonuses to everyone working on the tour.
Wonderful, because they had to, when you touring like that, you have to leave your family, your friends, your loved ones. You're missing events like.
You want to hear all the jobs that got bonuses?
Yeah.
This is going to tell you how big the tour is.
Okay.
Truck drivers.
Yeah.
Caterers, instrument techs, the merch team, lighting, sound, production staff and assistants, carpenters, dancers, band, security, choreographer, pyrotechnics, riggers, hair, makeup, wardrobe. By the way, those are all separate.
They are.
Physical therapists and video team members.
Yeah, hair.
God damn.
Hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Literally, they can be the same, but literally, those are probably 3 different departments.
Yeah.
I just looked up her net worth. An article from 2 days ago says that according to Forbes's latest rankings, she is the world's richest female musician, just surpassed Rihanna. She now has a net worth of 1.6 billion. And I don't know, is that before or after she gave these bonuses? Because that's going to move that decimal place. It's going to be 1.4, or maybe it was 1.8. That is $200 million is a lot of money. I mean, obviously $1.5 billion is more money, but percentage wise, it's a pretty substantial
and those online calculations are really more about evaluation, meaning like she might not have 1.6 billion in the bank, but all the stuff that she has, her companies, her tour, her
house,
merch, her house, right? So like a lot of times those numbers aren't even accurate, but what it makes me think about is how she's a billionaire and I earned this from work, as opposed to stealing people's shit. And then also I'm giving back to people who work for me and then some of our most powerful figures in the government right now are people who are billionaires who are literally like, how can I keep people from having money for their work? How do I stop the healthcare, stop the benefits? And she's like, I don't have nearly as much as these people, but I'm just here to spread the joy.
Yeah, and I'm very I can imagine the excitement, because all jokes aside, just working with her for a lot of those people are like life-changing, just to be able to work and the tour and things like that. Because with some people, like not trying to find their whole life worth of their career is kind of getting to the point where you're able to do, like I said, Taylor Swift, a Beyonce, a Lady Gaga, a Rihanna, like one of their shows, like some of them, that's their goal. And then you get it and you do your job, you sacrifice, depending on how long they touring and things like that. And sometimes I look at these tours, sometimes they doing like 3 and 4 shows at different cities in like a week sometimes.
Yeah.
And so,
within 2 shows in a day and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And then depend on, and that's just the US tour. And then you ain't talking about like that overseas tour.
Here's my question too, that I would have had if I was there. And I wonder who was the first to ask it. Because it'll feel like a downer, but it's like after she says, I'm giving 197 million. It's like, oh yeah, woo. So how much is that per person?
Yeah. How many of us are there? Like, did you see somebody posted online recently, like they made a mistake and it was a really funny mistake, that they're like, Elon Musk has like $600 billion now, is like, and they're like, that means that he could give everyone on earth $1 billion and still have 500 something billion dollars left. He's like, no, he could give 600 people $1 billion, or he could give everyone on earth $75, because 600 billion divided by 8 billion is the same as 600 divided by 8. But yeah, I mean, how many people do you think are working on that tour? That's a great question.
That's like, I feel like my first thought would be like, so hopefully there's 197 of us, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, actually there's thousands of us that made this happen. It's like, okay, what's my cut? It's like when you hear that thing where it's like, PayPal has a settlement.
Settlements, yeah.
And you're like, ooh, I got an email that said PayPal owe me some money. And you click on it and you're like, oh, come here, money. I heard you're going to pay us $75 million. And it's like $75 million divided by 75 million people. It's like, oh, it's $1. Well, thank you anyway for the $1. I'll spend it wisely. Thanks. Mhm.
I think if AI is correct, which that's a big if, it does say that it's over 100 people, and it could be near 200 or 300. So that's still good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Nah,
If it's 200, you get 500,000. If it's 300, you get
Mike, I've worked at jobs. I worked at jobs where you don't get a bonus.
I have too.
And like, I'm sure those people didn't go to work expecting like, yeah, we're gonna get, it's like I'm being fairly compensated to do the job that I do. So like, this is a dope thing that she did. Let's see what other white people are doing.
Shout out to her.
Let's see. How about let's keep it on divorce. Okay, let's go back to divorce.
Okay.
Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton
Mm-hmm.
were seen out shopping together despite the divorce rumors. They were able to still shop at the same time in the same location.
They must be
even though there were rumors.
Yeah.
Right. I love these articles because all that's really happening is that the people that are paparazzi just stake out a place.
And they know that they frequent.
They just get a picture of two people together and they're like, this is an article now. Like, y'all were shopping together. Woo-hoo! What is going on over there?
They got 500 words to write.
They said they are shutting down the rumor mill without saying a word, stepping out for a grocery run and looking totally at ease together despite a wave of divorce rumors online. The two were photographed Tuesday in Los Angeles while shopping at the upscale Italian market, Italy. Oh, Mike, that's beautiful. Italy?
They got one in New York also. Yeah.
Oh man, I knew you'd be on top of it.
That sounds expensive.
It's in the punch lane. It's in the upscale market lane.
Yeah, sound like when you walk in there, they go, "You broke." And I go, "You know what? You're right. Let me turn on around."
Italy. Italy sounds like a place where they have the groceries wrapped in impractical quantities, like a slice of bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh man, I can't afford to eat here.
A slice of
if
bread.
I want to get enough for
gold chips, gold flakes.
If I want to get enough for a sandwich, that's $12.
Right.
I agree. And also on the paparazzi tip, like number one, where's the Mamarazzi? Why is it only papas? But I saw a thing. Do you guys remember? I feel like it was like Us Weekly or something, some magazine like that, where there was like a celebrity spottings page, and the stars, they're just like us, so that kind of thing. And I remember one where there was somebody had taken a photo of, it was like a porta potty and like that then there was another paparazzo taking a picture. So this one it was like meta. This one person was like capturing. They were like, look at this. The paparazzi won't even leave you alone when you're using the porta potty. And it's like, yeah, you're also like, they're like, look at us reporting on the person who's not respecting this person's privacy. We're doing good work here.
I like the idea of the Mamarazzi, and it's just like women telling people like, did you eat today? Hey, keep her rolling. Did you eat today? Are you coming over for Thanksgiving? Are you gonna bring the family, the kids over? I want to see the grandbabies.
Yeah. Hey, he's looking a little light. He's looking a little light. He's looking or this one's looking a little too generous. That was my grandmother, my dad's mother. I remember when I was young and she was alive, like she would be like, Mike, you're not eating enough. And to my dad, she'd be like, and you're eating too much. Like, I was like, we're trying to meet. Where do you want us? Like, right?
There's no right answer. There's no right answer.
Nope, never right answer.
I'm just here to tell you what you're not doing.
Whatever you're doing is wrong.
Because I love you.
Yeah. If you do, I don't. If you don't, I do. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Exactly. I think we should get into a different segment.
Okay.
Now Mike's never been on for this segment before, but there's a segment we call Gender Wars, which I'll explain to you when we come back after this song.
There's a war going on outside. There's a war going on outside. Gender war.
All right. Gender wars is when we find different like posts from social media and stuff where people are arguing over these sometimes made up scenarios, sometimes real, whatever. And it's normally something that pits men against women. Okay. Now we judge them from 0 to 10, but not on whose side we on, not if the man's right, the woman's right. Just is this content good enough to get people arguing?
Yes.
Like, is this like how well did they do it? Was it believable enough that the people in the comments are like, I think men are dumb or I think women are stupid? That's what we're here to judge. And today's contestant is just a woman in a car. Okay. She's just a woman in a car filming herself on a video. Okay. And the caption says on this tweet, woman goes off on black men after being unable to get $1,500 and money in general from them, saying, I'm so over dating black men, leaving that in 2025. Eye emoji, smiley, and then money bag emoji. Okay. Now to see the video where in the bottom of the caption it says leaving dating black men in 2025. So I feel like she started with a thesis. She said, I'm targeting this audience. Let's see what she got here.
Okay.
I'm so over dating and just dating black men. Like, I'm over it. Like, black men just can't get my time no more. I've been dating black men my whole life, and honestly, it has gotten me absolutely nowhere but fucked. Like, it is just BS. I'm so over it, y'all. I started dating an Asian man out of nowhere. I literally was dating an Asian man for a whole week. We went on dates straight. Courting, gentleman, just everything. Older, established. Like, these black men be on the internet flexing like they got it so good. They got it.
Now, I had to stop right there to say, I like that she threw in Asian men in the most backhanded compliment way. Because even they would probably be like upset. Hey. Like, hey, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, guys, I went to the bottom of the barrel. Okay.
and also, the music.
The music that's going on behind it is so incongruous with what it's just like a beautiful tragic, like it's like the scene in the movie where like you're saying goodbye to your grandmother, or like,
but she's saying goodbye to all black men. So she's like, listen, you guys need to hear this sad music so you'll get through your
so.
Yeah, I feel like she's breaking up with me. I didn't even go out with her. It's crazy.
They got it. They surely got it. The moment you ask them for some money, it's a problem. It's this, that. Like, why are you out here flexing? But you can't even give me $1,500 off the rip when I ask you, oh, babe, can I have $1,500? Oh, it's excuse. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna send it soon. Oh, yeah, I got you. Never sends it. Then, something came up. Blah, blah, blah. Like, what? I can't ask you for $1,500. Babe, my 2 car seats in the back together are over $1,000. I can't ask you for $1,500.
Oh, so she just said 2 car seats in the back. So that means she got at least 2 kids that are young enough to have to be in car seats.
And I mean, I'm glad that she explained a little bit at the end, because up until that last moment when she mentioned the car seats, she's like, it's like you can't even just ask a black man that you're dating for $1,500 and he gives it to you like you're supposed to. Like, every white man I've ever dated just would give me the 15, like, to, as she's saying it, like it's such a normal thing to be like, when you're in a relationship and your boyfriend just won't turn over the $1,500 that you ask for. Like, what is that, ladies? Deal breaker. Yeah.
What am I gonna do with you? Pass me the CEOs. Pass me the men who want to have a wife and children and a home. Like, not all this flexing in the club every weekend. Not all this BS. I'm so good. I'm so over it. Like, please keep it over there. Stop approaching me. Thank you.
All right. So that was her video. Now I will look at the comments, because I like to look at the comments to see if it resonated.
I know she got a lot of comments. I know
Well, it has 3.2 thousand replies and a bunch of quote tweets. The first one is an anime screenshot that says "So get a job."
Because you asked for $1,500.
This is a lot of memes. This is Scooby Doo and Shaggy. Shaggy says, "What do you miss?" And Scooby, apparently, who has been going to a dialect coach, a speech therapist, says, "I missed the way I viewed the world before I knew too much about it." Yeah, good for Scooby. Okay, he got rid of that speech impediment, man.
That's
Probably took a lot of work.
great.
What do you miss? So wait, now we're doing it with Snoopy and Charlie Brown.
That would be a thing.
Why isn't Snoopy going wog? No, that's the parents, Karen.
I'm sorry.
Snoopy goes, and it just is anyway. I read too many of these when I was a kid, guys.
My bad.
So lots of memes. I require context. It's kind of weird that the context memes are the weirdest ones because I feel like the context is in the video. It's not really like a thing. Imagine not making your own bread to take care of yourself in big 2025. Go work, sis. So it looks like the men are the ones who took the bait to be upset. Begging is at an all-time high. Stay over there. It ain't happening. Here's a picture of a white lady. But I don't think it's a white lady. It says $500 a piece on car seats is crazy. Who paid for them teeth to get fixed though? What?
That came out the blue.
So those are the comments, guys. Karen, 0 to 10. What would you give this on the gender war scale for just how good it was at getting controversial, causing controversy?
I'm gonna get this about. Truthfully, I'm gonna give it about a 5, and like a 5 or a 6. And the biggest reason why I like the music, I like her tone. She didn't, because sometimes when people do this, they get too wordy, and sometimes they get off topic. Like particularly when they by themselves, they they get on tangents, which is
it was succinct. It was irrelevant. A minute and a half.
I'm going to take away my opinion.
Of course,
I'm going to take away points for the fact that it would have been better. It would have been better if she would have, I don't want to say went harder, but like if you want both sides, you need to also throw a pick me kind of in there somewhere. Like if we're trying to get women and men to comment,
right? Like what she said will obviously make men mad, but I feel like the numbers and stuff she chose were so impractical that there's not going to be women who are like, I relate to this experience and I would like to argue with the men who are arguing with you. I feel like women are mostly like, what? Who the fuck is giving people $1,500 after a week of dating? Nobody's doing that.
Right.
So I can't relate to you. So I can't do my part in contributing to the chaos of this internet video. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So 5 out of 10 for you.
Yeah. Because like I think that there was things that she could have did to kind of improve it.
Right.
Maybe instead of a softer tone, a stronger tone, to kind of be more assertive, to kind of be almost more demanding, like I deserve this money type of thing.
Okay. I know you're big on attitude and presentation and energy.
Yes. Okay. Energy. Yes.
What about you, Myq? 0 to 10 for, how good this video is at stirring up the old men bad, women bad, or whatever arguments.
Yeah, I was gonna say originally like a 7-ish, but I've been convinced by Karen's point because it can't be that inflammatory. It's just confusing. Like nobody could take it seriously. Like if she had said, like, if there was greater context of like, they won't even give you $1,500 when you lent them $1,500, when you lent them $3,000 last week. And I'm like, can I get that $1,500 back? Can I I don't even feel like this is a thing. Like she's saying black men, but it's not. Like this isn't a stereotype about no one will just give you $1,500. Like, so I'm not mad at her in a gendered way. Like I'm not mad at her. I'm just like, I'm curious. I'm like, flabbergasted. I'm just like,
I want to go to her page. I want to go to her page and it's just this video, but every time she changes to a different group, like, and I'm upset because white women won't give me $1,500. I hate when I'm friends with a white lady and I'm like, So you got money for pumpkin spice, but not enough money for my rent?
You know what, Mike, and I do agree. It's one of the things, like, if she'd have came in like, I'm a boss, you know, and like, I got it, you should have it too. So when I ask you for, but it's
like, I don't really need it.
Yes.
So I give it, man, I want to give it higher.
I'd say
ahead.
a 5 now, just because I do think, like, Karen's right, like, no one's gonna jump in on the woman's side to defend her. Like, maybe a few, but hardly. And on the men's side, like, at best, so that's like 50-50. Like, if you get all the men and none of the women, that's like half a war. True. That's 5. So I think I could go even lower, but I'd say, you know, like, I'll say a 4 or a 5.
I wanted to give it higher because she made some good comedic, stylistic choices.
Okay.
That I thought were like, wow, this is good, like, content. Like, the setup of it, because it's so ridiculous, but she's saying it so straight.
It's ridiculous.
And there's little stuff in there that I know is designed to trigger men, but as you both pointed out so astutely, it's only men that it's designed to make angry.
And if we talk about gender war, you need both sides in there.
Yeah, and the men that were replying weren't even picking up the stuff I was saying. Well, one person did. They said the baby seat cost was ridiculous, but also you have 2 babies. Like that's a thing men get mad about. Is like, you already got 2 babies and daddies, and you asking me for money, and no one took the baby.
Talk to them. Yeah, talk to the men who are responsible for these 2 car seats. So the fact being a necessity,
the fact that no one took the bait makes me feel like her delivery wasn't good enough. Because normally when we do gender wars, the people get so angry that everything is litigated. Like, well, what kind of car is that? A Nissan Sentra, bitch? That's not $1,500 right now. You know, like, and none of that happened.
And they would have went in on her looks. I mean, somebody talked about her teeth, whatever. But I mean,
but no, that's because she had Invisalign.
Okay, they would have been more aggressive. Like, you want me to pay this money? The way you look, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Sadly, I have to agree with you guys. I really, I think, like Mike, I started high. Like,
I like the music in the background
because I was like, oh, this is gonna make the men so mad. But then I was like, that's not the game. The game isn't, can you make one side mad? That's easy as hell. You gotta find a way to find that nexus in the middle where everyone's a little bit mad at everybody. And the women are not in the comments doing anything. You know, and sometimes it works because it doesn't work because the women are also equally as like, this is stupid.
Yes.
So then that's like, that's also a low score. So I agree with you guys. 5 out of 10. Let's do one more thing. Let's do some sword ratchetness, guys. It's been a while since we did some sword ratchet. Or actually, you know what? No. Let's do something else, guys. Let's do Welcome to the Cookout. All right. It's been a while since we invited some white people to the cookout. I'll explain it after this song comes up. Well, why can't I find my cookout song? Why am I drawing I should just search for it. That will help. Yep, here we go. Welcome to the cookout. Welcome to the cookout. Welcome to the cookout. Welcome to the cookout. That's right. It's the segment where we look around at the white folks and the allies, and we say, you know how people online keep telling you there's no cookout, or if there is a cookout, black people are having it, we're not inviting any white people. Well, that's a goddamn lie. Every cookout I've ever been to, there's been some white people at it. I don't know who brought them, but they was there.
Nope, don't know who bought them, but they was there.
So this is the segment where we at the Blackout Tips give a shout out to the white folks that do the most or the least. If really any amount of trying to do something nice, we give them a shout out. Okay, we know it's hard out there to get to the cookout. So let's see who's being invited to the cookout today. Billionaire Michael Bloomberg.
Okay, that's a rich man.
He ran for president once, I remember. He is creating a charter school to HBCU pipeline for Black students.
Let's go. He's been about that life, though.
Michael Bloomberg, who donated $600 million in 2024 to support medical schools at 4 historically Black colleges and universities, has a new plan to back Black education, funding K-12 charter schools on HBCU campuses.
On the campuses, let's go.
Yeah, he announced through the Bloomberg Philanthropies and Educational Nonprofit City Fund a $20 million initiative to fund 2 schools in Alabama, one at Stillman College and one at Tuskegee University. That were create. That were right. Like honestly, he knows ball because almost all the white people pick Howard.
Yes, they do. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but that ain't done HBCU, y'all.
They're like, I want to do something to help HBCUs. Google Howard. Okay, that sounds right. So whenever they go in the bag and be like Stillman, I'm like, I don't even know Stillman College. That's Mike was doing some research. So he's created direct pipelines to promote career success. The funds will go toward the DC Wolf Charter School in Shorter, Alabama, which is being converted from DC Wolf Elementary School and expected to open near Tuskegee University in the fall of 2026. And the I Dream Big Academy on Stillman's campus, which recently opened as the first HBCU charter school partnership in Alabama. So students that attend will be able to take dual enrollment courses at the universities and participate in community internships. So welcome to the Cookout, Michael Bloomberg. That's nice of you.
I appreciate that, because the thing is, all HBCUs need help, but most of the time when they do it, they don't really go to some of the middle to smaller universities.
Yeah, I'm with it. So Michael Bloomberg, donate to the school, and we'll have the kids show up at the Cookout. Maybe they'll sing your song, or they'll. Maybe we can get a little scrimmage, go at the basketball court. Maybe we name the basketball court after Michael Bloomberg for those billions of dollars. You can sit next to Mackenzie Scott Bezos,
and you can tell who's being lazy, who just Googles.
That was dope.
I just Googled his net worth is over $100 billion. So yeah, he can. It's good. There's a lot of people who have it that aren't doing it. So when you got it,
he's no Taylor Swift. Proportionally, he's no Taylor Swift, but I appreciate that he's doing something. There's a lot of billionaires that just take.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mean Girl star refuses to apologize for Charlie Kirk death comments. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Seyfried has refused to back down on labeling right-wing activist Charlie Kirk hateful shortly after his murder. She's 40. She commented on an Instagram post after Kirk was shot dead during a college speaking tour on September 10th. The post highlighted Kirk's controversial statements about Black people, abortion, and immigration. He was hateful, she posted on her verified Instagram in reply to a post about his beliefs. She also shared a post that connected Kirk's comments supporting gun rights and his assassination. You can't invite violence to the dinner table, be shocked when it starts eating. God damn, she militant.
Yeah.
She meant that.
She don't play that shit. God damn.
About that life.
He was very pro-gun, and like if he was not the victim of the violence that claimed his life, we don't have to imagine the kinds of things that he would have said, because there's record of him saying very pro-gun things in the wake of gun death tragedies before he died. So I understand, like, not, if you don't want to talk about it right away, that's I get that. Like, I thought it was pretty classy. Like, what the thing that Jimmy Kimmel said, like right after he died, that then later he said other things that were reasonable, they got blown out of proportion. But like he said like things that were measured and kind. Like Rob Reiner said things that were measured and kind. Like, as much as they don't like the authoritarian government that is implementing policies and taking away policies that are causing people around the country and the world to lose access to healthcare or cheap healthcare and other necessary resources. But that when a person dies, like, there's people that are like, it's sad when a person gets killed by a gun, like regardless of who the person is. And also Amanda Seyfried, like, she's correct to, like, it's true that he was super pro gun and he got killed by a gun, and that seems relevant.
Yeah,
yes,
and I
it
think
does.
also in the wake of that, it was during this like reclamation of his image, like this like rebranding of like, no, he was just a super Christian guy. It's like, that's not why he's famous. That's not why he's going to campuses. He's not going to campuses to spread that type of gospel. We have so many videos of him dunking on, you know, the groups of teenagers and college students that are like, oh, you trans? Well, I have a mean thing to say about that, and then posting it to his YouTube. So
so none of those people matter.
Even the idea of like he was just about thoughtful debate. It's like, I've seen the YouTube captions on his videos. They're not about thoughtful debate. Thoughtful debate is like, you've given me something to consider. The caption's like, I slammed down on this young dummy. Like, okay, you got him.
I'd like to thoughtfully debate the concept that what he does is thoughtfully debate. Yeah,
exactly. So this is why I promoted her new movie, The Testament of Ann Lee. And so someone was like, hey, do you want to walk back that hateful comment despite you getting backlash from Kirk supporters? And she says, I'm not fucking apologizing for that. I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm commenting on one thing. I said something that was based on actual reality and actual footage and actual quotes. What I said was pretty damn factual, and I'm free to have an opinion, of course. She also displayed gratitude for being able to give her quote unquote hateful comment more context on Instagram at the time. She said, we're forgetting the nuance of humanity. I can get angry about the misogyny and racist rhetoric, and also very much agree that his murder was absolutely disturbing and deplorable in every way imaginable.
Right. Two things can happen at once.
No one should have to experience this level of violence. This country is grieving too many senseless and violent deaths and shootings. Can we agree on that at least?
Right. And people that act like it's one thing or nothing. And it's like, no, y'all not going to turn around and erase his life just because he died and act like the shit he did when he was living just didn't exist because he died.
Well, Amanda Seyfried, welcome to the Cookout. We're going to put you over by security. We'll make sure no guns get in. We know that you're passionate about that, and we don't want no violence at the Cookout. So thank you, Amanda Seyfried, and we'll see you there. Don't worry, we'll bring the food.
Shout out for you for saying it with your chest too.
Yeah,
a lot of times people back down when they get asked those questions.
And the context she provided was like nuanced and like real. It wasn't like just, oh God, you guys go being sensitive or what, whatever bullshit people say these days. If I offended someone, then I guess I'm sorry. It's like, no, what I said I meant. And also I can hold two ideas at once, which is, and that was the thing I was saying when they were getting people fired that were like liberal and being like, man, this Charlie Kirk shit, you guys are like lying about who he was. I was like, but if those people had their way, he'd be alive. Like everyone that you're mad at, if you let them be in charge of the government, no one's getting an AK-47 or AR-15. No one's shooting someone in public because all those people are pro don't shoot people. He's the only one who's pro like sometimes people got to die so we can have guns. Like a lot of us are like, I don't accept that as a premise.
I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you.
The hateful man's death was sad. That's the truth.
That is true. And anger is just sadness with nowhere to go, man.
Yes, it is.
Myq, it's always great to see you, man.
It is.
We did it.
We did it. You said you'd come back. I said, please come back. You came back. We're still friends. We're going into the new year. You're about to hit the road. Tell the people where to find you so they can see your brilliant stand up
on the road while you're
and they can see if Rennie is real. Like if
person.
Yeah, absolutely. She is a hologram that is made of light and beauty. But yeah, I mean, it'll still seem like a regular person to you. But I'll tell you, you can see me at Duckworth in Charlotte in April.
Yes.
I'll be there. And before that, I'll be in DC. I'll be in a few other places. My website, MyqKaplan.com. MyqKaplan.com or punchup.live/Myq Kaplan. My dates are on there as well. The special Rini is on YouTube. Also, my Dry Bar special is on there, and Small Dork and Handsome. I originally on Netflix, then on Amazon, where it still is, but is now also. You can watch on YouTube for free, I think, with ads. So everything, all my specials are basically on YouTube, and all my albums are streaming all the places. And you can also get my newsletter at myqkaplan.substack.com. I send one out for free every week, and then you can subscribe for more. But yeah, if you just put at Myq Kaplan wherever you'd like it, that's all my social media. That's everything. I post videos and pictures and everything that is required of me as a participant in comedian society. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. And
No doubt, man.
Hey.
And he's always on social media making like funny jokes and puns and stuff. Sometimes I'll just log in to like, I think it's Threads. It might be Blue Sky. It's one of the ones that I don't use that often, but when I go there, the algorithm knows to give me all the mics.
I love it.
I'm like, appreciate you, man. So I'm glad you're here, and we'll be back for our premium people. We'll be back tomorrow for a sports show. God willing, I figure out how to email all you guys
with all
the stuff happening at the website. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that that happens tomorrow. And if not, we'll definitely see you Saturday for just a regular feedback show. So yeah, and happy holidays to you, Myq.
Yes,
happy New Year if we don't see you before the New Year.
Yes, and definitely in the new year. 12 times in 2026. Here we come.
Let's go. All right, until next time. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.